Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Welcome to your November 2022 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering all of the major transits for November. So you can watch this horoscope if you're an Aries rising, also known as ascendant, an Aries sun, or an Aries moon. I always highly recommend that you watch all three for your sun, moon, and rising, just to give you a really good idea of what's coming for the month ahead. And generally speaking, the rising sign horoscope will be the most accurate for you overall. So, November is undoubtedly a huge month for Aries individuals in particular, and that is because we are going to have Mars retrograde for the whole month of November, as well as December and about half of January. So, obviously, I did not do horoscopes for September or for October, so I am going to start off by looking at the Mars retrograde transit. So Mars stations retrograde on the 30th or the 31st of October, depending where you live in the world. And basically, Mars only goes retrograde once every couple of years. And Mars is your ruling planet, Aries. So whenever Mars goes retrograde, this impacts all Aries because of this planet being your chart ruler. So Mars will be retrograde in your third house in the sign of Gemini. Now, because Mars is your chart ruler, this means that wherever Mars goes, whatever it is doing, this represents you and what you're doing and where you're placing your energy and attention. So the third house is all to do with communications, sales, marketing, as well as business. So whether this is co-workers, clients, anything to do with your business or with work. Even though the sixth house in astrology is connected to work, the third house is like your business relationships, as well as friendships, siblings, and relatives, like extended relatives and friends. So this will be the area of focus for you. I'm sure it is already because Mars has been in Gemini since the 20th of August. So Mars being retrograde in Gemini for about 10 weeks means that you're having to put extra energy and effort into your third house. So into the third house matters, if you will. Now, when Mars is retrograde, especially if you're an Aries, this can lead you to feeling like it's harder for you to achieve your goals, and maybe it's just a bit more difficult for you to really access that willpower that you're used to, just having on tap. So you can feel quite frustrated during this period of time. As I'm filming this now, it's the 19th of October. So we are in the shadow period. So you will be feeling this already, that it's just a bit harder to achieve your goals, harder to make yourself understood when it comes to relationships with siblings, relatives, friends, and co-workers. It doesn't have to be that you're arguing with these individuals, although just be aware that that could be something that you are experiencing, being experiencing discord within those relationships. Mars being retrograde, though, can indicate that you're working really hard at mending those relationships or getting them to a different level. You could be working really hard on a communications project or something to do with your social media platform. The third house is connected to communications of all kinds, whether this is social media, your website, writing a book or an article. It's also connected to um, technology in the sense of building an app, a website, developing new software. So Mars being retrograde here can indicate that you are in the editing process, or you're really in the crunch time period of figuring this out or getting it over the line. So if I could put it this way, you may have started something between, let's say, the 20th of August or end of August and the end of October. Maybe you just had the initial idea, or you had already started working on it and things were maybe going smoothly. You had a lot of energy, you were putting a lot of effort into it. And then we get to the retrograde period and it's like, oh shit, this is the hard part. This is where bumps come up in the road. You can encounter some obstacles that you need to be really inventive in overcoming. This could see you being forced to compromise your vision or have the experience of other people not being in alignment with your vision. And I'm saying this because the third house is connected to small groups and small teams. Now, the third house is also connected to education and skills. So you could be developing a new skill, or you could have started a new course, and this is the difficult bit. This is a challenging bit. Maybe you have to resit a test or an exam, or you could be putting in your energy and effort to take a test or exam. So there could be a lot of revision involved during this period, and a lot of editing. And also some of you may have to eliminate people from a group or a team that you are working in, and this could be a very difficult process. You could be working really hard to rally your team and get them to work to your standards. Essentially, I could say that this period will be one of hard work, very challenging. You may feel frustrated and angry, or just have a short temper, I should say. This period that I'm talking about is from the end of October till the 12th of January. That's the whole Mars retrograde period. And this can also see you having to take frequent short travel trips and journeys. There can be a lot of walking around, because the third house rules over short journeys and trips. So it could be that you are rather tired out from these journeys, or for some of you, you may have to put them on hold. In short, this will be a period where you need to hold your tongue a bit more than you would like, which could be very difficult for you. You will want to be careful with what you say, because Mars retrograde can have quite an angry energy, and Gemini is communications. So just know that what you say and how you say it, you can dial it back and still get that message across. Now, let's have a look at the full moon eclipse. Actually, it's a total lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 8th of November. So this will be at 16 degrees, and it will be in your second house. So first of all, the first eclipse that we have will be on the 25th of October, which is 6 days from now, from when I'm filming this. So we are very much already in eclipse season. We're already experiencing eclipse energy. Eclipse season can lead to heightened emotions, disturbed sleep, whether this is needing to sleep more than normal, or waking up in the middle of the night, or just feeling like you're not getting a good night's sleep. Eclipse energy can have us feeling a little bit anxious without actually knowing why. And this is, every eclipse. That's sort of the energy that we experience, as though things are accelerating and it feels like anything could happen. And that is true. And eclipses are very hard to predict, even as astrologers. Nevertheless, with this full moon eclipse, this total lunar eclipse, which means it's as powerful as an eclipse can be, being in your second house, this in Aries will be highlighted for you: finances, money, valuables and possessions, your diet, the food that you eat, and your taste, because the second house rules over the five senses. So this is like your taste in general. Now, the second house is also connected to your values, not just valuables, your values and your sense of self-worth. So this total lunar eclipse, which is at 16 degrees Taurus in your second house, on the financial side of things, can see some of you receiving a lump sum of money. You may have to spend a large amount of money. This could lead to the end of a financial stream of income for you. And this total lunar eclipse will actually be making a T-square to Saturn, and the sun will be in Scorpio while the moon is in Taurus, and the sun will actually be conjunct Mercury, Venus, and Venus as well. So there's a lot of planets that are involved in this total lunar eclipse, and because this lunar eclipse is with the North Node, it will still bring you something, okay? Even if a chapter is ending in your life that's connected to any of the second house matters, let's just say finances, this can still lead to a payout. So let's just say that you are closing off a financial stream of income. This could also entail the sale of a business, someone buying you out, or there being a financial or material benefit to this ending of that chapter. Now, because this total lunar eclipse is conjunct Uranus, there is something very unexpected or swift or sudden that comes through with this eclipse. So, like I said, eclipses are difficult to predict. They're even more difficult to predict when they involve Uranus, that is for sure. So, for some of you, you could be receiving a valuable or a possession. You could be parting with one. There could be an exchange or a trade, and the same can be said for a family heirloom. Now, some of you, like I said, may have to spend a large amount of money quite unexpectedly. So I do just want to state that again. Because this eclipse is making a T-square with Saturn, which means that Saturn is the apex planet. Saturn is squaring the moon and squaring the sun, but also trining Mars. I see this as you somehow having like a sudden download of information when it comes to having to prepare yourself for your future. And that is because Saturn is in your 11th house. The 11th house is your long-term goals and dreams. And Saturn talks about legacy. And with this trine to Mars, this is like making a decision which affects your material wealth, or this is something to do with your values and your sense of self-worth, or perhaps even your diet, like I said, and this is setting you up for your future. So some of you may have a sudden change when it comes to your diet and what you're eating, because the second house rules over food. It also rules over the mouth. So this could be connected to smoking. Some of you may be quitting, and smoking whatever kind of things that you ingest and put in the mouth. This is the second house, okay? So for some of you, this could come about quite suddenly, that you have to cut this out. And like I said, the same could be said for dietary needs. So you may need to cut out dairy or gluten, or you may just be like, I want to be vegan, I want to be vegetarian. And even if you are already vegan or vegetarian, maybe you're reversing that. So there is this swiftness and this unexpected element that comes through with this eclipse. Now, the second house, like I said, is connected to your values and your sense of self-worth. So there's a powerful shift here, whether this is your relationship to money, your relationship to material wealth and security, your attitude towards money, your attitude towards food. All of these things are up for change, really. So, don't be surprised if there are some sudden shifts that come through in these departments for you. Now, the second house, from a Vedic perspective, although this is a tropical Western reading, I should have said that at the start, the second house still has these familial, which means family, associations, but it's more like the traditions of your family, or the cultural preferences of your family, because this is like what you've inherited. So there could be a sudden departure from this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be involved in the family business. I don't want to uphold these traditions. I don't want to be part of this anymore. I'm thinking differently. My values are different, especially because this eclipse opposes Mercury, which is how you think, and it opposes the sun, Venus, I beg your pardon, which is what you value. And again, that's finances. So something's not the way that you've been doing things with respect to how you spend your money, how you earn money, what you value, what you're buying, your valuables, your possessions, even your wardrobe, what you're eating, this is changing, and this will be sudden, so you don't have to wonder about this eclipse. What's the eclipse event? When's this happening? You will know. It will be like, boom, I've arrived. So just lastly, with the eclipse, the energy of eclipses can be experienced even now. Okay, it doesn't need to be on the 8th of November exactly. It can be anywhere between now. Maybe something's already come up for you, or maybe this will extend to mid, even the end of November. There's about a month leeway. So we are in this like eclipse energy, as I said. Now let's have a look at the 16th of November, when Venus is going to enter the sign of Sagittarius. So Venus will be in your ninth house, and wherever Venus goes, this is where we can experience things going well, some assistance or help in this department. We can really enjoy this area of our lives, or of what the house pertains to, what it rules over. And so the ninth house is connected to travel and education, and as well, it is connected to legal matters, court cases. So for some of you, you could be traveling during this period of time. You could enjoy it. If you are in a foreign country already, you can be enjoying that time in that foreign country. I've just got back from Greece, so I just, enjoyed my travels there. Anyway, you could be traveling with your significant other, because Venus rules over the 7th house. You could be traveling with a business partner, or for business purposes, or you could have some success with respect to client relationships and business while you are traveling. Even if you're not traveling with another person, you don't necessarily need to travel with another person. I just thought I would mention it. The ninth house is also connected to education. So this could see you learning about other cultures, food, art, music, something which is creative in nature. You could be taking private one-to-one classes, because Venus rules over the 7th house, or maybe you are teaching Venusian things, whether this is about languages, art, music, cooking, gardening, etc. So for some of you, with respect to legal matters, you could have success with a legal matter, or it could go swimmingly. So I'm saying this because the ninth house is connected to the law. It rules over your 7th house, which is also connected to legal matters. And so this could see you settling out of court, settling a matter diplomatically, reaching a conclusion that benefits both parties, or if it's not benefiting the other party, it's still benefiting you, because Venus is trining you as an Aries sun, moon, or rising. So that's the influence of Venus being in the ninth house, things going well for ninth house matters. Now, on the 19th of November, Mars, which is retrograde still in Gemini in your 3rd house, is going to make a square to Neptune in Pisces in your 12th house at 22 degrees. Now, this is a big transit. We already had this take place about a week ago in October. I think it was on the 12th of October. Let me just see if I've got that up on my... Yeah, it was the 12th of October. So basically, this square will occur again. So once on the 12th of October, once on the 19th of November, and then again on the 14th of March. So you may experience similar themes which are connected to, let's say, around the 12th of October, and then it's coming up again on the 19th of November, and maybe again in March. Nevertheless, this transit will definitely have a lot of hype when it comes to other astrologers. And, obviously I'm going to hype it up too, because it is one to watch, but I want to put my own little spin on this. Yes, this transit can be tricky, it can be challenging, it can pose some difficulties to be aware of. But I also want to talk about not just the potentially unhappy manifestations that can come out of it, but also some positive manifestations of this transit, because transits are not all negative, they're not all positive, and squares in astrology can lead to a challenge, but a challenge can lead to a breakthrough. Now, who better to speak to about challenges than my Aries people? So, first of all, let's talk about the positives. This can see you actively seeking out or participating in programs and courses, because we've got Mars in the third house, which are connected to 12th house matters, because we've got Neptune in the 12th house. So this can be about overcoming a fear, understanding either your own personal trauma surrounding a personal experience, or this can be to do with understanding psychology itself, even if this is, not necessarily personal. You could be working hard to overcome an addiction. You could be learning about something spiritual. Maybe this is yoga, tarot, how to heal yourself. So the square indicates the effort that you put in. All right. So if you're learning something, I would argue that, you need a hard aspect to go out and absorb new information or work on whatever it is that you're working on. Okay. So the trine energy can be like, oh, this is going easy, or this is a talent, or I'm receiving help. The square is like, I'm going out and doing it. So you could be working with a group, you could be forming a group, you could be pioneering a group that works with people who may be disadvantaged. Maybe they're homeless. They could be refugees who need help. It could be people in poverty. You could be doing charity work, you could be volunteering. Again, this would all be Mars square Neptune stuff, so to speak. Maybe you're going to start writing or continue writing, because we've got Mars in Gemini. Mars is you and the action you're taking. Gemini is communications. Mars is in the third house, which is writing. So maybe you're writing about 12th house matters. The 12th house is connected to marine life, sea life, foreign countries, faraway places, retreats. Maybe this is an experience that you had when you were a victim in some type of situation. You could be writing about mental health. You could be writing about addictions, problems with addiction, fears, homelessness, refugees, disadvantaged and disenfranchised people. This could see you working really hard on these subjects, maybe to bring them to light. You could have a very spiritual experience, which leads you to totally change the direction that you were going in. This can cause some confusion, okay? But this could be a course-correcting spiritual experience. That's the potential positive manifestation of this transit, okay? Let's have a look at some potentially negative manifestations, okay? Don't know why I'm doing this, Gemini rising, always doing this with my hands. So this can see you having depleted energy levels and willpower, okay? Feeling fatigued, feeling like, confused, maybe even a little bit depressed. Maybe this is extremely uncharacteristic for you to just not feel like going to work, not feel like working on your goals or going to a group classes or whatever. This could see you feeling like the action that you're taking is going nowhere. Okay, I'm putting in all this effort and I'm not seeing results. This could see you feeling like co-workers, friends, relatives, etc. are misunderstanding you, okay? Because Mars is you, misunderstanding your motives, not understanding what you were saying. So this can also lead you to want to let go of a friendship or a connection, okay? On a different level, Neptune is not just like loss in an emotional sense, but physical loss. Back up your documents, back up footage that you've taken, writing material, journals, etc. Keep them safe. You could lose them. like permanently, or you could just misplace them, trouble finding whatever it is that you need. Your social media platforms and technology is, and I don't say this lightly, at risk. Okay, change your passwords, beware of hackers, beware of who you give out personal information to. This can see you, unfortunately, having sensitive material, whether this is handwritten or on your devices, basically being in someone's hands who it shouldn't be. So, on a different level, Neptune is literally water. I mean, so is the moon. Anyway, this could see things being susceptible to water damage. Okay, so not just losing property or theft of a technological device, but that is a potential outcome, having a phone stolen, a laptop stolen. But Neptune here could be like you spill a whole glass of water on your laptop and then that's it. So just be careful about having water near devices. On a different note, and this one is a very niche example, but it does apply. I don't say this lightly. This is a general reading, so take it any which way you will. Accidents out at sea are a potential. Okay, on a boat, jet ski, wakeboarding. Water activities, physical activity is Mars. At sea in the water is Neptune. Okay, so just be careful of this. I myself, love these sorts of activities, and this is just the time where I wouldn't do it, okay, if I was you. So again, that is the 19th of November. Be careful if you are going on a boat. Honestly, if you were going to have a big day out on the water, wakeboarding, jet skiing, or whatever, I would just reschedule it. That's just that. Okay. So, advice for how to handle this transit: do yoga. Okay. Mars is physical activity, Neptune is something spiritual. All right. So, you're taking in that energy and spitting out something positive. Physically participate in volunteering. You could go for a run, which is Mars, by the sea, which is water. Okay. Run along the beach. Back up all important documents, change passwords, and make a mental note of where you are physically putting things. Okay, so lastly for the month, on the 23rd or the 24th of November, depending where you live in the world, there will be a new moon in Sagittarius in your 9th house at 1 degrees. A few minutes after the new moon, Jupiter is actually going direct in Pisces at 28 degrees. So this is the last 4 weeks that Jupiter will be in Pisces for another 12-ish years. So this new moon indicates a new chapter that is starting, a new beginning that is coming your way. Now, this new moon is actually conjunct Venus and Mercury, which I think is pretty exciting because the 9th house is trining you. Okay, this is something which is going to benefit you, and Mercury and Venus together indicates potentially a new friendship, doing something with another person, with a group, receiving help with this matter. So let's just go through a few different ways that this can play out, and then I will wrap it up. So on the education front, you could be starting a new course, learning something new. It could be Mercury or Venus based, something to do with marketing, sales, social media, technology, commerce, PR. Obviously, I mentioned, we've also got art, cooking, languages, music. So obviously I mentioned some of this stuff when I mentioned Venus being in Sagittarius from the 16th of November. This is highlighting that, okay? So you could be learning something new. You could be attending university or a higher learning program, or you could be doing your own intense study in these areas. Now, you could be teaching, okay? You could be teaching a new subject. You could receive a promotion when it comes to the facility at which you teach or whatever organization you teach for. So this could see you teaching something that you love, okay, with Venus being conjunct Mercury, or teaching with co-workers and colleagues. So this could be a group effort. You could be planning a travel trip with probably a friend or a romantic partner, because it is conjunct Mercury and Venus. So it doesn't mean that you're traveling at this time. You could be planning this trip to take this trip within a month's time, or maybe 6 months later, or this could even be your 18-month plan. And I'm saying this because in 6 months, we'll have the full moon in Sagittarius, and 18 months will be the next full moon. Now, you could be enjoying spirituality and religion, and you could be learning about these subjects in depth. It could be with a group of people, with a friend, or maybe someone who's a friend to you is teaching you about these subjects. And this can see you having a really positive but powerful shift when it comes to your belief systems. You could be more positive, more tolerant of other people. When I say tolerant, I mean understanding their cultures, that they are different to you, but you accept them nonetheless. This could see you making a new friend, or you could even meet a romantic connection. Now, if this were to be the case, I would expect it to happen while you are traveling or while you are studying at university, school. This could be at a religious place of worship or a sacred place of worship. So, for example, church, a temple, spiritual place, or someone within your spiritual community. You could even meet this individual at a wedding. And so, Aries, that is all I have for you for November 2022. My 2023 yearly horoscopes are still underway. So just be patient. Please make sure that you have subscribed to this channel so that you will receive notifications of when those will be available for sale. My 2023 yearly horoscopes will be about 2 hours long at a maximum. So, about an hour and 45 to 2 hours per sign. So I did them last year. It was very exciting. And I'm really stoked to, have finished the filming, but I'm just working on getting those out. So enjoy November, and I will see you guys next month in December.